Hey there, everybody. This is Kristin from Teaching Balance, and I'm excited to be with you here today for this particular practice. Today's practice is kind of inspired by the coming of spring. Oftentimes when you think of spring, there's spring cleaning and out with the old and in with the new, and I thought that it would be kind of interesting to explore the idea of letting things go, particularly things that are not helping us in any way and are not really adding to our lives. And so the way that we will do this is when we begin our meditation, I'm actually going to have you pay particularly close attention to some of the thoughts and emotions that come up for you. Some of them might have a quality of neutrality, which is fine and expected, but sometimes there will be things that arise during practice that we really do know probably don't serve us, and we may want to try to move beyond. And so without kind of giving you too much anticipation of what's going to happen, we'll see if perhaps we can play with that a little bit. So it'll be a rather typical meditation, other than the fact that there'll be some prompts regarding paying special attention to what's coming up for you in the moment. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. There'll be a bell to signal the beginning, and then of course our chimes at the end. So if you haven't already, go ahead and close your eyes or lower your gaze. And as always, the invitation to take a few deep breaths. And if typically something you don't do, perhaps today would be the opportunity where you give it a try. I know sometimes it's hard for certain people to take that deeper breath, but just see if you can do the best you can in making that attempt. Allowing that breathing to relax the body and to help you ground yourself and drop into your body. And allowing your breathing to resume its natural rhythm. And since we have gone over the various anchors that you can rest your attention on, I won't spend too much time reminding you of those, but just remembering that you can rest your attention on the gentle rising and falling of the breath. You can rest your attention on the body, the physical sensations, and you can also rest your attention on listening to sounds. And with all of this, because none of it is particularly interesting, knowing that inevitably our minds will wander, and that's to be expected, but it's that awareness of our thoughts that empowers us to make choices regarding whether we want to follow them or not. So resting your attention in the present moment, being as fully here now as you can. Noticing where the mind is now, and if it is in the present moment, continuing to rest your attention there. And if it's not, perhaps taking a slightly deeper look at what is present. If it's an emotion that's present, exploring where do you feel that emotion in the body. Trying to have a curiosity and an interest about that without trying to resolve it. And also noticing that those physical sensations will change. Very few sensations are completely constant and static. Perhaps there will be a shift in location or in quality, whether that's about tightness or a quality of temperature. Just noticing. And sometimes with emotions, as with thoughts, there's an interest in turning away from them and bringing your attention back to the present moment and to your anchor. But for this session, let's just hold those emotions and thoughts in your awareness for a little more time. You're not feeding the thoughts, whether those thoughts are ruminations of saying things that have happened in the past, or perhaps worries about things that might happen in the future, judgments. But I want you to observe those thoughts or emotions with a greater sense of interest, looking for the nuances. When that thought comes up that is a worry, can you feel any associated sensation in the body? When you picture in your mind this worry, what are the colors you see? Is there sharpness, or is it blurry? Is it a still image, or is it more like a movie? But remembering that in this moment, that memory or worry or idea isn't actually happening in your present moment experience. So grounding yourself in the truth that all that's happening is you're sitting in meditation. Allow yourself to almost befriend these emotions or these thoughts, even though you most likely would be very happy for them to leave you alone. Consider that by befriending them, by making space for them, for seeing them for what they are, images in your mind with some language, sound, not what's happening now. Perhaps taking a little bit of power away from those thoughts and emotions. Sometimes by trying to turn away from the unpleasant, as we've discussed in the past, we actually give more power to what we're afraid of being present with. But in this case, you're allowing it to be just a little longer than usual. And then when you feel as though your attention has truly penetrated it and seen it fully for what it is, then gently turning your attention back to the present moment. And resting once again in the truth that is sitting in meditation right now. Coming back to the breath, or the body or sounds. And by seeing those thoughts and emotions that arise, by making room for them, letting them be here, perhaps really realizing they're not so scary anymore. Hopefully helping for you to eventually, with them losing more and more power, to eventually let them go. And that is 10 minutes. So pretty much the same meditation, where we're actually spending a little extra time and putting a little bit more energy into really seeing those recurring thoughts and emotions. And like I mentioned, hopefully by holding them in your attention and really seeing them for what they are, that might facilitate, hopefully down the road, and a greater ease in letting them go. So thank you as always for practicing with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Thanks.